Good afternoon to good morning to you, Naledi, and the heavyweight championship listeners. This takes a sizable amount of effort and energy. This gentleman has been wanted in Israel for the crimes that he's committed from 2003 when he placed a bomb under a car and injured people and couldn't kill the person that he wanted to kill. And in 2004, placed a bomb on top of that car of that gentleman that he wanted to kill. And in that explosion, 5 people were seriously hurt. Amongst other things, you would know that from public knowledge, he is running an organization that deals with extortion, kidnapping, drug trafficking, recently diamond dealing. The law enforcement agencies in Israel communicated with a National Central Bureau, which is Interpol South Africa, based in Pretoria. And since then, law enforcement agencies worldwide have been cooperating with local law enforcement in the hunt of this particular person. Normally, the process starts from Israel. The process would start with your red notice. The red notice would say to law enforcement agencies in South Africa through Interpol. The red notice would say, we have identified that Andy Mashaile, who's wanted in Israel, is in South Africa at this specific address, driving this particular car and living in this particular street. Local law enforcement agencies through Interpol would then stake and do all what is necessary and usual. I'm not going to go into operational detail. From there, that particular gentleman would be surveyed and all those kinds of things that police do very well, and it ended up in the arrest of the boss of this Abergil gang and all lieutenants, the people who are there. I'm not sure who the people are that were arrested with him, but all the details will come out of the court appearance, which might be today, if not tomorrow, but within the 48 hours time space.
Yeah, there is something to be said about having, a criminal that is going to still face charges, obviously, but hiding in South Africa in plain sight. I mean, is this a problem that we might very well have in this country, that international criminals might think of our country as a place to hide?
This is a serious problem, Naledi. Personally, to me, I don't like criminals. And I'm definitely sure that the law-abiding citizens of this country do not like criminals, particularly foreign nationals who come here under the guise of being Europeans and not committing crime, and crimes being committed by Africans and many of those things. It shakes our confidence in the system that allows people to come in here, border security and border management. If we had serious if a functional, effective, and efficient border management, we would then have identified that this particular person is wanted in Israel. Now, later, there's what you call I-247. It's a system used by Interpol. That system, based on your fingerprints, based on the registration numbers of the car or the VIN numbers of the car, would then indicate that this particular person is a fugitive from law in Israel or from Brazil or from any other part of the world, from South Africa living in Dubai or from South Africa having fled to Brazil.
Yeah, there certainly is, a question around the confidence that South Africans have in law enforcement in this country. And that needs to be spoken to in a story like this, particularly where we look at, if we're able to find one of these criminals or 8 of them that are living in plain sight in Bryanston, what surety do we have that we'll continue finding these foreign nationals that are hiding in plain sight in our very own country?
Now, lady, yesterday I said the dominoes will all fall. The dominoes started falling with a high-ranking boss gang, and there are many more dominoes that will fall. I have full confidence in the leadership of Brigadier Namabola, who's the operational head of Interpol South Africa. And for the information of those criminals who might be watching this interview, don't play around South Africa thinking that for the fact that you have managed to go through a few, slip through a few fingers. Don't think that you are now relaxed. You realize, as Naledi and the viewers, that yesterday you pulled the best of the best, your special task force. I'm definitely sure that the gate that is in the pictures that is lying down is the result of the special task force having done what they do best, going over the walls and extracting an individual. It is against that backdrop, Naledi, that we should applaud law enforcement agencies, SAPS, Interpol, Special Task Force, your Hawks, your criminal crime intelligence agencies. Also, the relationship between law enforcement agencies through this coordinating structure, Interpol Pretoria, the National Central Bureau in Pretoria, and the National Central Bureau in Tel Aviv, Israel, having cooperated to ensure that, one, they get back the criminal that they want Israel to. We are a safe and a secure community and country, and the citizens of this country will not be victims of this demonic and satanic organization. Naledi, those motorcycles that were stolen, they were not stolen in Israel. They should have been stolen here. And those firearms that we have seen, those rifles and those pistols, suggests to me and all who are standing at a distance, Naledi, in respect of operations, they would say that those weapons would suggest that they were used, or they were going to be used, or have been used in the commission of crime. Look at that van that has been turned into a torture chamber. Who has been tortured there, or who was going to be tortured there? We also know that that van that is on your screen, we also know that there's a newer van, a bigger van that was going to be transformed, amongst other things, into a torture chamber. Who was going to be tortured in the torture chamber? Okay. These gentlemen are involved in kidnapping. Were they not going to, at a later stage, kidnap South Africans and extort money from them? So it is against that background that all law enforcement agencies that are there, I salute. I salute particularly the leadership, Brigadier Nemabola and his team at the National Central Bureau in Tshwane.
Yeah. Mr. Endi Mashaile, thank you so much for speaking to us. Mr. Endi Mashaile, of course, is the ambassador of Interpol SA.